Hey everyone, this is Chris.
And this is Julia, and this is episode number 30 of the Mixology Talk podcast.
So since this episode is coming out on the 24th of December, I'm sure everybody listening is working hard preparing for Santa to come tonight.
Totally.
I know the traditional thing is to leave out cookies and milk for Santa, but Santa's going to have a long night ahead of him, and he probably doesn't want that much cookies and milk, so why not leave a tasty cream-based cocktail instead?
Yep, you guessed it. Today we're talking about cream cocktails, and by that we mean pretty much anything that uses cream, milk, cream liqueur, half and half, you know, all that stuff. So if you're somebody like me who likes sweet, rich drinks...
She's already had a couple today.
Oh, man. Cream cocktails are a great way to go. And this time of year, it feels like cream cocktails are everywhere.
Yeah, and I think the rich, heavy nature of these styles of drinks go really well in the cold evening, especially if you're sitting by like a crackling fire or something like that. Probably not so much when it's about 110, 120 out there.
Yeah, I just can't bring myself to be drinking anything with heavy cream in it on a hot summer day.
No.
Maybe cheesecake? Yeah,
no, even that. That sounds horrible.
So, Chris, let's imagine you're designing a cocktail. When would you actually want to use cream in that drink?
So I like to use cream or milk in a drink if I'm looking for a way to add a lot of richness and body and creaminess to a cocktail. And if the drink I'm creating doesn't have any acid, that's one of the biggest things is I don't like to combine acid and milk.
Well, I do, but really only when I'm making cheese.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for it, but definitely I try to avoid that myself. But the danger of using cream is that it's really heavy and can quickly take your drink from not rich enough to being so thick you're going to need to drink it with a spoon. So be really careful when working with these type of ingredients.
Yeah, if you're designing a drink and find that cream is too heavy, which it often is, try substituting out half and half or milk instead. If it's still too heavy, you can try soda water as well. The carbonation lightens it up, and the water, obviously, waters it down. Mm-hmm. Other good mixer options for cream cocktails include sodas like Coke or root beer float, anyone? Or hot chocolate, coffee, anything like that.
Now, on the other hand, if your cream-based drink needs even more richness...
I doubt it.
There are times where you actually want that. A nice way to add more richness is to add egg yolks to it. And this is really going to thicken that whole thing up for you.
And this is why eggnog is so crazy thick, is that it actually traditionally uses heavy cream and egg yolks.
Yeah, it's so good. So, by the way, from my perspective as a bartender, I generally try to avoid using really heavy-based cream drinks or milk or cream-based liqueurs, especially if I'm working in a high-volume bar. The reason for it is because the cream just coats the mixing tins, and you just can't rinse them out. So you actually have to put them through the dishwasher, which will slow you down and, just kind of make you have to have a couple extra mixing tins around just for this reason.
Yeah, it can kind of throw off your mojo.
Yeah, a little bit.
So we talked about cream. What about cream liqueur? Cream liqueurs are a guilty pleasure of mine, and nobody who's been listening to this for a while is going to be surprised. As you all know, I like things that are sweet.
Yeah, it's a really good point. You can substitute cream for cream liqueurs in cocktails, but there's a couple things you're going to want to keep in mind. First of all, there's a lot more sweetener in cream liqueurs than cream or half and half or anything like that. So you're going to want to adjust for some of that sweetness. The other thing to remember is that since you're adding alcohol with a cream liqueur, you may want to dial back some of your other spirits that are in there as well, because it's definitely going to become alcoholic quickly if you don't.
Another thing to note about cream liqueurs is that they aren't all shelf stable. So definitely take a look at the bottle and look for any indication that it might need to be refrigerated. Or you could just drink it all at once.
Yeah, probably not. I wouldn't recommend it. That sounds like the worst hangover in the world.
Seriously.
Yeah, but definitely check out the bottle if you're opening a cream liqueur or any other liqueur for that matter. And sometimes the best idea is just to keep it in the fridge.
If you're not sure, it's not a bad idea to just keep it in the fridge.
Right.
So what about some great cream cocktail recipes? There's a lot of good ones out there. And so we decided to cheat a little bit and crowdsource it. So we asked folks on our Facebook page what their favorite cream-based drinks are.
Yeah, so for everybody that answered the question, thank you very much. And we chose a couple that really kind of stood out. So Jacob Ashburn from the Patterson House in Nashville, Tennessee. If anybody's listening down there, you got to go check him out over there. And he suggested the Ramos Gin Fizz. It's something I love. It's a great cocktail, but man, do I hate making that drink. One of the things about that drink is if you don't have a blender, it takes you a long time to make this drink. I read somewhere that you actually have to shake this for 12 minutes in order to properly make it.
Which nobody wants to wait that long for a cocktail.
Yeah, and man, I'm going to have a good workout if I have a couple of those on my ticket line for sure.
That's for sure. And the worst part is that's one of those drinks that, like, when one person orders, everybody orders,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. No. So
if anybody orders it, make it really ugly so nobody else wants it, and then you should be good.
right.
So the next one is from Russell Ravinius. I hope I've said your name right. Who works at the Barlow Room in Dayton, Oregon. He suggested something that sounds absolutely amazing. A hazelnut espresso martini made with half and half.
That sounds so good.
Oh my gosh. It sounds really sweet, which means it's right up my alley. It definitely sounds like something Starbucks would sell if they had a liquor license.
Oh, man, they would kill it. They would probably
true.
knock that pumpkin spice latte right off the
I think so.
charts as their number one seller. Now, the last one here comes from a gentleman by the name of Samuel Padilla at the OB Noodle House Bar in 1502 in San Diego, California. That is a long restaurant name, but
Hopefully we got it right.
yeah, but he came up with a really cool idea of using a Mexican chocolate with cream as well to really bring out some flavors in your cocktail. And
I
it
could see
sounds
that.
fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So if you want to see everybody else who commented, check out the show notes. We actually will put a link to that discussion, and you can add your own thoughts over at mixologytalk.com/30.
Yeah, and once again, thank you for everybody that answered that question, and we'll continue to do that in the future.
I like it.
Yeah.
Crowdsourcing. And as for us, I really liked the Chilla Milk Punch that we made with the Chilla Horchata that we received in the mail.
Yeah, that was a great drink, and we kind of based it off of the brandy milk punch, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it turned out fantastic. And one of my favorites, especially during this time of the year, is a really beautiful homemade eggnog. I came up with a really fun recipe a couple of years ago for a restaurant I worked at, and we sold a ton of them over the holidays.
It was torture. He'd come home every night talking about how tasty it was, and I never tasted it.
So maybe this year is the year that we make it for the holidays.
Darn right.
I think I owe you by now.
I think you do. So hopefully this episode has helped you make something tasty for Santa to have alongside his cookies.
And if you're listening in the future, why not make yourself a really delicious milk cocktail with cookies as well?
Yeah, why not?
We don't judge.
Well, we
much
kind of do.
here. Yeah, I guess we do.
But we probably won't know.
Right.
So you can just roll with it.
Yeah, seriously.
So what's coming next week?
Next week's podcast comes out on New Year's Eve, so we thought it'd be helpful to prepare you for that crazy night out you're about to have.
So we're talking about beer shot combos?
Nope.
What about like maybe how to cure a broken leg?
Oh my god, what the hell are you going to be doing for New Year's Eve?
No comment.
So, all right, folks, I guess you'll have to come back next week to find out. But don't forget to head over to the website, mixologytalk.com/30 for all of the show notes.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Never miss an episode by subscribing in iTunes or YouTube. And as always, check out the show notes by clicking on the right.